Okay.
Damian Maia.
Can we turn the
Tyrod
corner?
Woodley.
Tyron.
I always say Tyrod. Tyron. Okay.
Tyron Woodley. Yeah,
people thought that was a boring match, but for me, there was tremendous data in MMA. The fact, like, Damian Maia goes down to 170. At 170, he takes everybody down. He's taking college wrestlers down left and right. But could he take down Tyron? I thought he could. I thought that he was going to hit a wall there, and he did. How are you going to take that dude down? It's going to be very, very hard to take him down. So what I learned from that is, man, you got to get really good at shooting and doing what Paul Sass is an expert at. Paul Sass is the best I've ever seen in MMA at making pulling guard option 1. He just made it not option 3. I always talk about the third option. I would want my fighter to have the best stand-up possible, the best takedowns possible, get on top, ground and pound and submit them, beat them on the feet if you're beating them. But if you're getting beat on the feet and you can't take the guy down, you better know how to pull guard. You gotta know how to drag dudes down unorthodox ways, not just the regular wrestling way, because you're gonna hit Tyrod Woodley. You gotta throw some like flying Eminaris on him. You gotta shoot deep enough just to get a slight clinch and have something you're gonna jump on. Not continue with the traditional wrestling. You gotta shoot, pull half guard, just like Andre Galbao did. When he fought MMA a few times. That's all he did is shoot. Dude sprawled, he just pulled half guard, boom, he got up, double underhooks, got the bag. You got to get creative. The way Nogueira beat Tim Sylvia way back in the day, Tim Sylvia could not get taken down. He was too tall, he had an awesome reach. Nogueira was getting clipped. He couldn't take down Tim Sylvia. What did he do? He shot the best he could, and when Tim Sylvia countered, he pulled half guard. He ended up in deep half, and boom, with the momentum, got up. Swept him, so it was an indirect, unorthodox takedown is what happened. If you shoot, pull guard, and then sweep, that's a takedown. You end up in the same place. So he went around the wall, and he ended up guillotining him, put a guillotine from the top. You got to have that. And you know what? He was pulling guard before. Damian Maia did pull guard before, early in his career. And
Tyron just wasn't having it. He didn't. That wasn't an option. Tyron's takedown defense
that was the
so
last.
good.
That was takedown defense. Yes, that was the last option. But this is not. I'm not talking about traditional takedowns. I'm talking about the art of. Watch Paul Sass. He would take deep shots.
I totally understand.
It's the timing. You can't just sit on your butt.
I think really what it's going to take with a guy like Tyron Woodley is you're going to have to get a wrestler who's like an elite, high caliber wrestler that's going to be able to figure out how to take him down. I don't think like a regular dude like Damian Maia, who's not a regular dude, who's a world-class grappler. But did you hear Dominic Cruz's criticism of his takedown attempts, that he wasn't following through enough, and what he was saying technically was wrong about his approach? Yeah. You know, I think that if it was a real world-class grappler, you know, a real, you know, top of the food chain amateur wrestler.
But at 170, he's taking everybody down. He looks like the best wrestler. And what he said about the fence, because most of Damian Maia's takedowns, a lot of them anyways, are against the fence. He's really good at going double underhooks and doing some inside trips or outside trips.
Tyron defended all that shit. Yeah. But you know what else Tyron did? He clipped him with a huge uppercut in the very first exchange. The very first time Damian tried to close the distance, Tyron hit him with a vicious uppercut, and he fucked his left eye up. Damian's left eye was fucked up from the very first exchange. When Damian shot low, Tyron hit him with a hard uppercut, and just his eye immediately swelled up, and it was fucked for the rest of the fight. So I think that played a factor too. Just Tyron's game plan was, in a lot of people's eyes, wasn't fun to watch. That was the problem. And like Dana felt like he should have finished him. And Tyron, his thought was, look, this guy's, it's his goal is to win the title. You got to come and try to beat me and win the title. If I'm beating you, why don't I just keep doing what I'm doing and continue winning the fight? You can't do anything. But if I change tactics and make myself more vulnerable. And he said he did get hit by a left hand or a couple left hands, and that stunned him. I guess his attitude was, look, if this guy wants to win the title, he's got to come and get it. And if he comes get it, I'm going to knock him the fuck out. And if he doesn't come and get it, why would I go after him and put myself out of position?
I would coach Woodley the exact same way. I would be yelling from the corner, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't fucked up exchange, and he gets a shot in and takes him down and trips him. He tries to get up on his knees, jumps on his back in that little scramble. Yeah. One little scramble like that, boom, you just fucked your whole shit up.
Damian is not the best puncher in the world, but he's not the worst either. He can fuck you up. If you make a mistake And if you rush in and maybe he's reserved more energy than you think he has, and he fires a very fast straight left hand and catches you on the chin, he could fuck you up.
Yeah.
He could fuck anybody up. He's not incompetent on the feet. He's just not at the same level as Tyron. And he doesn't have the same movement as Tyron does.
Do you think Damian should... What if Damian had kicks more like, maybe not exactly like, but more in the vein of Edson Barbosa or Yair Rodriguez? Wouldn't that be a whole nother dimension?
Well, he doesn't even have to be like that. How about just like Pedro Hizo? Just attack the legs.
Yeah.
Just make the legs...
He's not doing that, right?
No, very
He's
little.
just boxing.
Well, Dominic brought it up one time during the broadcast because he's like, I want to see Damian throw a high kick, a left high kick. I go, yeah, but I go, have you ever seen Damian throw a left high kick? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I have either. I don't know if he's ever done it. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't think I've ever seen him try it. Like he doesn't. I think he's such a specialist. His specialty is just get you to the ground, strangle you.
He should spend. I would suggest. I don't know. I ain't shit, but I would like to see Damian Maia with adding to his arsenal, adding more kicks, adding more weapons.
Sure.
Like why not?
For sure.
Shit.
But even if he did, the problem is it's like Tyron is just so fucking strong and so good at stuffing takedowns, and he hits so goddamn hard. It's like you'd have to be like on him, and you got to figure out how to actually get him to the ground, have full control of him, and good luck with all that.
Remember Nogueira versus Mark Coleman?
Yeah.
That Mark Coleman wasn't planning on going to the ground with Nogueira at all. This was at the height of Pride.
Yeah.
Mark Coleman's plan was to box with him and use his wrestling to not go to the ground.
Right.
That was the plan the whole way through. I'm going to box this Nogueira guy. He's got an amazing guard, amazing jiu-jitsu, and he ain't going to take me down. I fucking wrestled at Columbus. What happened? Did Nogueira take him down? Fuck no, he didn't. You know what he did? He's like, people who can throw high kicks and a lot of head kicks usually don't because they're afraid of going to the ground, all the guys that could do that, but guys that want to be on the ground and don't mind being on their back and are dangerous off their back and are known for having a dangerous guard like Nogueira, they could throw all the high kicks they want. And that's exactly what Nogueira did.
Yeah.
He started throwing high kicks, whizzing by Mark Coleman's head. And then one just barely nipped his forehead. So Mark Coleman just snapped into wrestling and said, fuck these baseball bats. I'm going to ground and pound this motherfucker and take my chances in his guard.
Right.
He took him down. He got triangled.
Yeah. That was the glory days of jiu-jitsu.
Do you remember that
we
shit?
had a heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Dude.
It was a triangle armbar. And
Dude,
that's exactly how
you were a brown belt back then.
Yeah, yeah. That's how he got the fight to the ground, is by throwing head kicks and scaring the motherfucker.
I
to
remember
reverting to his wrestling.
You know, Cowboy used to do that a lot. Cowboy has a nasty guard, and one of the reasons why his guard is, one of the reasons why he's so loose with his kicks, because he doesn't mind if you take him down. If you take him down, he ties shit up quick.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Vinny Magalhães throws head kicks.
Yeah.
Vinny throws head kicks all the time because his guard is super dangerous.
His guard's insane.
You jump in his guard, there's like 40-50% chance you're going to tap.
Yeah, his guard's insane.
Yeah, he just he did an EBI maybe like 8 months ago. He pulled off some beautiful rubber guard, man. He looked like a fucking ninja.
Yeah, he's a bad motherfucker. Yeah. Vinny's a bad motherfucker. He's got a crazy athletic frame too. You know, he's built like this gigantic superhero type character. He's a huge dude, but he's built like a big, small dude.
And he's all handsome and shit. He's right up there with Alan Joe Bone.
Beautiful, man.
He's right there. I would put him right there.
But don't you think, like, when you look at, like, his proportions and the way he moves, he's almost like a lot of big guys, like, they look like big guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, like a perfect example would be, like, that dude that just submitted Travis Brown. Was it Olenek? Is that how you say it?
Vasily the guy that got that
who just submitted Travis Brown.
Ezekiel choke off his back?
Yes, off his back. That guy.
He just beat Travis Brown. That's right. What did he get him? An arm triangle?
Got him in like a rear naked choke on the side.
Oh, that's right. He does crazy. Yeah. Dude, his squeeze must be insane. Oh my!
Insane.
He's probably just known in his gym as like, dude, he's gonna get a hold of your neck and just smash it.
Dude, he's a spooky good grappler. Like, you could see, like, when he gets a hold of guys that he's putting like a crusher squeeze on them. People don't understand what he did. He let a guy mount him, and he choked the guy while the guy was on top of him. That is insane and unheard of.
He was mounted.
He was mounted, which means it's one of the worst positions you could ever be in MMA. The guy's on top of you. His hips are above your hips. He's pinning you to the ground, and this guy choked the guy from the bottom. It never happens. It never happens. The fact that he could do it. I mean, here we can see it here. How do you say his name? Olenek. Is it Vasily? Alexei. That's right. Alexei Olenek. So he's just ragdolling Travis here, and he gets his back. And look at this. He's got a rear naked on the side with a body scissors. Look how he's squeezing the body and just smushing him so he can't breathe.
He's got him in a lockdown across the body.
Yeah, and then he gets the neck. He's on the neck, just sort of like a sideways rear naked choke. The other one he did is even crazier when you see him submit the guy from the bottom with an Ezekiel choke. See, that kind of guy, that looks like a big guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like he looks like a big guy.
Yeah.
Vinny Magalhaes looks like a welterweight that's 6'3" for some strange reason.
And 230 pounds.
Is he fighting MMA anymore? Or is he just going to do jiu-jitsu?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He is going to come back and do the Absolute. EBI Absolute's going to be at the Onyx.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This is crazy. Who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
Watch him do that
No
again.
one's ever done that.
Back that up again. People are going to try it now. So go all the way to the beginning. So the guy gets mount, and he thinks he's got, like, oh, I got the mount here. And he just sinks this in. And look how tight he makes this.
Just a rear naked choke into the throat.
Yeah,
rear,
it's crazy.
Dude, that seems legit.
Fuck yeah, it's legit. It's 100% legit.
I think that's super legit.
Yeah, if you look at the way the arms are folding up here, I mean, that's not a goon, right? That's all torque.
That's a front naked choke.
Fuck yeah, it is. That is, it's all like real leverage. You know how you could tell if a guy goons somebody?
Yeah.
They're just crushing their head? That's not a goon.
That's all squeeze right there.
Yeah, and it's fitting in like keys, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's fitting in there perfect.
Dude, your squeeze has to be super high level to get it to choke someone while being mounted.
Ooh, good lord, good lord. How many people have that? Yeah. See, this Tyron Woodley thing is very tricky because in my mind, like, I see that he wanted to win the fight, period. That is the best way to win the fight. If this guy is only offering a certain amount of offense and you could stuff that offense and land your shots and continue to pile up points, which he did, and don't ever put yourself at risk, I get it. But I also get the Dana White point of view, where he's like, you got to sell tickets. Like, people are paying to see you fight. And if people are holding up cell phones and swinging them through the rafters, you know, because everybody's bored because they don't want to watch it anymore. And his thought is, look, you got to sell tickets.
Hey, who's the greatest takedown artist in UFC history?
George St. Pierre.
George St. Pierre versus Woodley.
Yeah, but Woodley apparently, because of this fight, they're talking about GSP versus Bisping now.
Oh, they got to go to Woodley. Come on, that's the only guy. If GSP can't take Woodley down, nobody can.
But what if they just tried to take each other down back and forth and everybody went crazy again?
What if GSP took him down repeatedly?
What if he didn't?
Like that'd be great too. But what if he did? Either way.
Look, I want to see the fight.
Either way. That would be the fight right there
because
Woodley has a style. Some people don't like it. Some people like it. Some people appreciate it or whatever. But the only guy that has a shot to beat Woodley, the only guy would be the best MMA takedown artist of all time. He has like 1 million takedowns in the UFC. He's the only guy that would be able to. If GSP can't do it, no one can.
He's
You're
also
gonna have to
a
just
very
box
good
this
striker.
Dude. Yeah.
Very good striker. I think
he throws leg
have,
kicks.
This is what you'd have. GSP saying, like, we got to go the pro wrestling angle. You know, I'm tired of sitting at home watching boring fights. That was a bad GSP impression. Right? But him saying, like, enough already, I want my time. It sound like Arnold.
Can he make 170 without IVs?
I don't know.
Because Bisping's at 195. That's kind of weird. Is he saying, man, it's going to be too hard to make 170 without the IVs?
I think he was willing to fight either fight. I think he was willing to do 170 or 185.
Dude, Woodley GSP would be huge. That would be the biggest fight for Woodley.
I'm not impressed with the biggest fight for Woodley.
Because who else is there at 170 that has a chance of taking him down?
Well, Robbie Lawler, since he just won, you would have to look at Robbie as being one of the top contenders.
Yeah, he would just brawl with him. He's willing to brawl with him. That's the only way you're going to beat him.
If he can avoid the big bomb that he got hit with in the first fight.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to think, Robbie Lawler is coming off of 5-round war with Rory McDonald, 5-round war with Carlos Condit, war with Johnny Hendricks, war. It's all war. Every fight he's in is fucking war. So, like, I think him having that year off was giant. And then he fought Cowboy, and towards the end, he was coming after Cowboy. He was hurting Cowboy to the body. He hit Cowboy with some big shots. I felt like a lot of people disagreed with that decision, but I felt like I gave Robbie the first round. because he jumped all over Cowboy in the beginning, and I think it was enough to win the round, although I think Cowboy was getting the better of the exchanges towards the end. I still think the volume of it and the impact went to Robbie. The second round went to Cowboy pretty big. But then Robbie rallied in the third round, and I think he dominated the third round, and I think he hurt Cowboy a few times. I think that would have been an amazing 5-round fight. That would have been an incredible
I don't even
fight.
remember who won the fight.
Robbie won. Very close decision. I think it was a split decision.
I saw the fight,
sure,
but
great fight.
My brain is scrambled.
It was a great fight. It was a great fight. Both gave, both took. It was war. It was chaos. You know, and Cowboy definitely caught him with some clean shots. He hit him with some real good knees to the body as well. Cowboy landed a lot of great shit, but you know, Robbie looked like Robbie again. He looked like the Robbie Lawler that won the title. He looked like a killer. He looked like the same spooky dude that just keeps coming after you until he puts you away. That's what he looked like in the third round. Third round in particular really looked like he was falling back into the old groove again. So there's him, you know. I think, man, it's crazy seeing Rory McDonald over in Bellator looking better than ever. Looking better than ever. Mm-hmm. When he took down Paul Daly, like he cracked Paul on the feet, didn't get hit with shit, took Paul down and strangled the shit out of him. And the way he did it, you watch it, you go, whoa. Like Rory McDonald might be the best welterweight on the planet. Like he might right be there. You know, and you got to remember, he beat Tyron Woodley. Remember that fight?
I don't remember it.
Rory shut him down. Shut down that big overhand right.
What year was that?
Kept him pressed against the cage.
Was that recent?
Not that long ago. Maybe,
damn.
If I had to guess, 2015. I think he fought Tyron Woodley before he fought Robbie Lawler. I think it was one of those elimination fights.
That was a decision?
Yeah, he beat Woodley by decision. And he also beat Damian Maia. And he survived being mounted by Damian Maia in the first round. Damian took him down, mounted him, he defended, and then he fucked Damian up in the second and the third rounds.
And he's still peaking.
Dude, he's like 26.
Yeah.
He's one of the best in the world. Without a doubt, he might be the best. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
It bums me out seeing him over at Bellator. I think that kid is sensational.
Is Kelvin coming back down to 170? What do you think?
I think he can make it, for sure. I think if Kelvin had the kind of discipline that Chris Weidman has to get down to 85, Chris Weidman's a huge guy.
Yeah.
He has to have real discipline to make that 185-pound limit. I mean, he has to really watch his calories.
What does he walk around at?
I would like to know. It's well north of 200 pounds, though. He's a big guy. You know, according to Ray Longo and Matt Serra, they're like, Chris is on the big side of 85. Like, he could easily be on the small side of 205. You know, and then... What do you think about these new weight classes? Like the athletic commissions now, they're going to add 65, 75, 95, and I think 220. Was it 225 too?
The UFC going to do this?
I don't know. I don't know if the UFC is going to do it, but I think they should. I think they should go every 10 pounds, not every 5 pounds, but every 10 pounds.
Like, I like it the way it is.
Do you?
I like it. It makes sense. It makes sense, but we don't need it.
Fighters.
I don't think we need it. It makes sense. I don't mind the big jumps.
Really?
Find your spot. We don't need more. It'll just, I don't know, at this point, I think you keep it the way it is. But who knows what they're going to do.
I don't agree. I think we need more weight classes. I think there's too big of jumps. I think the jump of like 185 to 205 is fucking crazy. That's a 20-pound jump. That's huge. The difference between a guy who's 185 and a guy who's 205 is significant. The amount of power that guy has over the 85-pounder is fucking huge.
Find your spot.
55. It's too many. There's too many tweeners like Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez is probably a 65er. You know, maybe a little too small for 70, maybe too big for 55. I think there's a few of those guys.
He's gotten down to 45.
I know, not good though. I mean, not fought like the Diego Sanchez of old. I don't think
I think he should stay. 55 is the spot.
Yeah, I think it's hard for him to even make that though. If you could let him fight at 65, he'd have all his energy.
It makes sense what you're saying, and I get it. Totally makes sense. But it's just fighting. It's just fighting. You know, it's not diluted. We got enough. We don't need more. We don't. Everything doesn't have to be like just all systematically fair. You know.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think we have enough. I think we could have room for more champions. I think we'd have more super fights. We'd have more guys rise to the top of the division, and it would be easier to match them up. It's way easier to match up a 75 with an 85 than it is to match up a 70 with an 85 or 55 with an 85. It's just like the gaps are too big.
I think we have too much already. I think it's hard to keep track of shit the way it is.
Maybe. There's an argument for that, I guess. I don't know. I like it, though. I think it gives people more options, and I think heavyweights, for sure, gives them more options. I would also like to see a super heavyweight division. I would like to see a full-on freak show. I want to see the Mountain from Game of Thrones. I want to see that guy learn how to fight. He's like 330 fucking pounds. You know that guy that picks up those stone balls and shit? Do you know what I'm talking about? Carries cars, He's one of those dudes.
How big is he?
Giant.
How tall is he?
6'8", something
White
like
guy?
that. Yeah, Viking, straight Viking.
Long hair, beard?
No, he's got a beard. Yeah, he's like one of those Iceland guys, I think. Sweden or Iceland, one of them Viking characters. How big is that mountain dude? There's a video of him sparring with Conor McGregor. It's hilarious. He's 6'9". Jesus Christ. What in the fuck is that?
Is there a picture of him?
Jesus Christ. He weighs 380 pounds, 386 pounds.
Is there a video of him picking up cars?
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of videos of him doing shit. Here, watch him. That's him. See if they have some videos of him doing his workouts. His workouts are fucking insane. Or in some sort of strongman competition. Did you ever see... Go back to the screen you just had. Scroll down to that Conor McGregor video. The screen you just had. That's it right there. See Conor McGregor versus the Mountain? Look how much bigger he is.
Shit.
And Conor's playing around with him, sparring with him. Look at the size of this guy. And Conor's like slapping him in the stomach. And he's like, come on, I'm going to grab you. Look, he's trying to grab him.
Dude. Oh.
Look at this. He's like, come on, man.
He
Let's
was
keep
like
going.
giving him a high five. Yeah,
he's
wanted
getting
to stop.
tired. He's getting tired.
Damn, Conor wanted to keep going.
Oh, man. So you saw the UFC this weekend. Did you see where I fucked up and I interviewed Daniel Cormier after he had been knocked out?
Yeah.
Dude, here's something that's like people think that somehow or another the UFC told me not to do that and I did it. Nobody said anything. It was just 100% my fuck up. And it was also my idea in the first place to stop interviewing fighters after they've been knocked out. It was 100% my idea.
How often did it happen before? In championship fights, it happened often, right?
Almost always, whether a guy got knocked out or TKO'd or submitted or lost a decision, I would interview the winner and I would interview the loser.
Every time?
Every time.
Okay, so it's normal.
Unless they ran out of the cage, which has happened before.
Yeah, I get it. So you were just running on instincts?
No, well, this is what happened. I was there for Gonzaga versus Krokop. Remember Gonzaga head kicked Krokop and just fucking into oblivion.
Yeah.
And it was bad, and I interviewed Krokop afterwards. And I'm telling you, that dude had no idea what I was talking about. Yeah. And I remember saying to the production team at the time, I was like, man, I don't think we should interview guys after they get knocked out like that. Like that was my saying, like that.
Yeah.
And then the one time it happened again was with Alistair. And after when Alistair Overeem fought Stipe Miocic and he remembered this guillotine that didn't really happen, he remembered Stipe tapping, rather, and it didn't really happen. I was like, this poor guy, like he really has this memory in his head, and it's just not correct because he just got knocked the fuck out. He got knocked unconscious on television, like completely flatlined. And then a few minutes later, I'm asking him to be coherent. I'm like, I don't think it's fair. So it was my idea to stop doing this, and the UFC agreed. So it's not like they said we got to stop doing it, and I violated my own idea, and I just did it on. This is what happened after the fight was over. First of all, the fight was crazy, shocking how violent the ending was, because John really did fucking hate Daniel, and Daniel I think really did hate John, or at least had real anger. There was real emotions with these guys. It was insane. It was intense. When John landed that fucking head kick, and you saw him moving in for the kill, and then he stopped him right in front of us. He got on top of him and just blasted him. It was like right there. I remember looking over, and I'm like, Jesus. He was just dropping bombs.
How close to you? Like
him.
Real close to you?
It was pretty close, if I remember correctly. I want to say it was like right off to my right, if I remember correctly.
But you had a good look at it?
I had a real good look at it. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm cage side. I got a good look at everything, but I had a real good look at that. It was intense. It was intense, and it was also, I felt like there was a couple shots too many. So I remember being stunned, like, oh. I'm a big fan of John Jones, but I'm also a big fan of Daniel, and I'm a fan of both of them. I know they don't like each other, but I like both of them. I like them independently. I can't help the fact they're enemies, but I love hanging out with John, and I love hanging out with Daniel. I love doing commentary with Daniel. I love that guy. So I would never do anything to make him look bad. I was in shock. He was confused because he got knocked out. So he was confused that why the fight was stopped. And so he was mad that they stopped the fight. because he just didn't understand, because he'd just been KO'd. So he was arguing with Big John. I didn't hear the exact words. Then he was arguing with Dana. I didn't hear the exact words of that either. But Dana was in front of me. You got to realize, when a KO like that happens in a world championship fight, and you're standing in the octagon, you're surrounded by all these people screaming and cheering. The fucking noise is so loud. It's hard to figure out what the fuck is happening. So I couldn't figure out what Daniel and Dana were arguing about, but Dana's whole head was red. He was like, that fight was amazing. You fought your heart out. Like, I couldn't tell exactly what he said. Like, you hold your head up high. It was a great fight. That kind of stuff. But I think Daniel was still trying to figure out why the fight was stopped, because it just had happened. He'd just woken up. Then he realized he got head kicked, and then he was really sad. And then he was upset. And I went to go talk to him, and literally as I'm going to talk to him, he's turning to me, and I have the microphone. I'm like, why am I interviewing him after he got knocked out? What the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I don't even realize what I was doing. I was just in shock almost. Like, I went on instinct, and I'm interviewing him. If I had a chance to stop and think, I should have been like, oh yeah, he's been KO'd, don't do it. So in the middle of me even talking to him, I say, normally I don't like to interview fighters after they've been knocked out, but it's just like I was stuck. I was already there talking to him, and I didn't want to leave and walk away from him. And I really do care about that guy a great deal, and I just watched him get knocked out, and now I watch him, his heart's pouring out, and he's crying, you know, when he was realizing that he got knocked out and he lost the fight. It was all awful. And so I put it was haunting me all night. Nobody had said anything. Nobody from the UFC got mad at me. No one said anything to me. It was just me thinking, why did I do that? Like, why did I interview him? I shouldn't have interviewed him. Even though we used to do it for every fight. It was the right move to stop doing it, and ironically, it was my idea. It was my move. I don't even know if other guys, I don't know if Brian Stan still interviews guys after they've been knocked out. I don't think he does, though. Because Brian actually said thank you to me for that, because he got interviewed after he got knocked out by Vanderlei. And he remembers thinking, I don't remember what happened. He didn't know what the fuck happened, and they were interviewing him. He's trying to keep it together for the interview. And he was like, you're right. It's not fair. It's not fair to interview a fighter after they've been knocked out. I just fucked up, man. There's no other way to say it. I just, if I could go back, I definitely would have taken it back. I definitely wouldn't have interviewed him. Because I feel like he didn't, and he sent me a text message saying it's all good. I didn't say anything crazy, so it's no big deal. But, you know, he could have. You know, he could have said I never got stopped. I could have said, you know, you don't think anything. Like, if somebody doesn't explain to him well enough what happened,
yeah,
and then it takes a few seconds and you forget again. That's the other thing about guys who've been knocked out. Like say if I got knocked out and I ask you, Eddie, what happened? And you said, oh, this dude just punched you in your jaw and knocked you out. I'd be like, no way. Hey, man, what happened? Yeah. Like a few seconds later, you start asking again. When you get knocked out, it's real weird. So, it's a huge fuck up on my part, but I was in shock, honestly. It was so ferocious. The final barrage was so ferocious. And it was the way John did it. When he hurt him, once he knew he hurt him, he just started going after him. And one of the spookiest things that he did was the way he tripped him. You see the way he tripped him? Like, Daniel's like sort of stumbling back, and John just sort of scoops his leg out from under him and trips him. Yeah. And Daniel falls back, and John just moves in on him. And you could tell Daniel just couldn't get his feet back under him, and John just jumped on him and just murked him.
Cormier did great on his feet for a while there. He did great. But I was really impressed with John Jones striking.
Dude.
He throws so much unorthodox shit.
Oh, yeah.
Those stomps on the knees, dude, that's high-level shit.
And the volume.
Yeah.
He's throwing a lot of strikes.
Yeah, that's his shit.
He was in tremendous shape,
and then he's throwing those elbows from, from left field, right down the pipe.
Yeah.
He's throwing a lot of elbows, man.
Dude, he's throwing all kinds of shit. He throws everything. Front kicks, throws a lot of front kicks.
Yeah, right to those front snap kicks.
He throws those oblique kicks to the thigh and hyperextends your knee.
I love that.
You can't get close to him.
I love that. I hope he keeps going, because he's evolving so much as a striker. I hope he gets more together.
I hope he gets it together 100%. You never see him arrested again. No more bullshit.
No one cares about that.
I do. I don't want him to get in jail.
If he gets arrested again, it's like he tore his ACL. What's the difference? He'll be back. He's going to be back. It doesn't matter. Let him party. He's the king of the world. He's probably the best fighter of all time. Let him do some coke. Let him party. Dana should be getting him some hoes. You know what I mean? Fuck it. He gets fucked up. Hey, that's actually better press.
So what he needs is like a security team.
He should fake DUIs and drunken stupors, just like they do in TMZ.
He just needs a constant security detail to keep everything away from him.
Let him do whatever he wants. He's the king of the fucking world.
But you don't want him getting locked up. We lost a whole year of him, and then we lost a year before that.
We don't want him to get Tyson. That's for sure.
Dude, he could get locked up for 5 years.
Yeah.
That shit happens to people.
Yeah.
What you want him to do is have fun, but don't do anything illegal.
Don't let him drive. Take his keys.
Yes.
Take his keys.
Yes. Don't let him do anything illegal. Just have a security team.
Have a rubber party room.
Like one of those,
just lock
those
it. Just
bouncy warehouses.
Go off and just say, dude, you go off for 5 hours. Whatever you want, boom, but you can't leave this room.
You ever been to one of them bouncy warehouses where you can go from one trampoline to the next trampoline? They have
hell
whole
yeah.
warehouse.
Are you kidding?
Those are amazing.
We go all the time.
Yes.
Me and my son go all the time.
Those are the best, man.
Yeah.
Those are the best. So anyway, even though I already talked to Daniel, I felt like I put it on Twitter. I apologized on Instagram, and I was like, I gotta apologize on the podcast too.
Yeah.
I fucked up, and it was just a fuck. It was. There's no other explanation.
What is it? Is it because of the meme of his crying face?
No, I just mean just to talk to him. The memes, you're gonna have memes, man.
Yeah.
You gotta accept memes. It's part of.
Everyone's got.
the
Man,
game.
there's so many knockout memes. You have the Rashad Evans one that's pretty popular. It's one of the most. You have the Jose Aldo one. That's pretty. That's on the underground.
Oh,
right when you turn on the underground, boom! It's the Jose Aldo getting clipped by. There's so many of them.
Did you ever see the video of the dude that came up to Rashad and asked him to sign one of the posters of Rashad all fucked up?
Wait, say that again?
Some dude had the balls to come up to Rashad at one of those signings and try to get Rashad to sign the picture, that one picture where he's all jacked and fucked up. He tried to get him to sign that, and Rashad crumpled him up. He thought he was being cute. So what did you think about the Cyborg fight? I felt like it was kind of weird, you know, seeing Tanya Evinger so outsized, you know, fighting Cyborg, who's like, yeah, it's real thick. Like, sometimes I eat it with a spoon. What'd you think about that fight?
Cyborg is just too goddamn good. Tanya Evinger, she's the only girl. She's tough, and she's out of her weight class. She almost didn't have a chance. Almost. You know what I mean?
She had a chance, but it wasn't the best chance. And Cyborg fought a very technical fight.
She's such a good striker. Jesus.
She's super technical now, too. You see, she's not taking too many crazy chances.
Dude.
She's just picking her spots.
She's a machine. And she's really good on the ground, too. Hard to take down. Her wrestling's good. Her work ethic's insane.
She's a legit brown belt, right? Isn't she?
Is she a brown belt?
I believe she is. Last I heard. I didn't know. Maybe she's got her black, but she's legit. What was impressive to me that, you know, like, Evinger was like trying to be crafty and move around and being unorthodox and throwing a good jab, and she was looking for her spots. She was just outgunned, but Cyborg didn't just try to gorilla fuck her.
You know what?
She didn't just try to chase her down and smash her. She picked apart at her, did a great job of hacking at the legs, landing shots, and then once she had her,
I love Tanya Evinger. I love that girl. You know what's
she's tough as fuck, man. Just to take that fight.
One of the coolest things about MMA is how open-mindedness we are with lesbians, right? I mean, we don't even, it's no big deal at all with girls. Put her on the Countdown show, 2 girls making
Amanda
out.
Nunes is the champ.
Yeah, and no one, we're like totally cool. We're like all, you know, Tanya Eminger's on Instagram Live making out with chicks at bars, drinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's a party girl, you know, she's
good for her.
And
yeah, you're allowed to be a big old lesbian.
Yeah.